Good morning. So, I know that I posted so many things, but one thing in particular about me is, y'all, I am a teacher. But moving on from that, less about me, more about the reason why I'm here. So, I've been studying Greek mythology with my students, and one of the myths that we studied was about Narcissus. Narcissus is like the Greek root for the term narcissist. And in this myth, we learn that every woman that saw Narcissus, would fall in love with him because he was so beautiful. And he would run away from them because he didn't want to be, uh, he didn't want them touching him. He found his happiness in being alone and in being in isolation. And then one day he discovered his own reflection. And when he discovered his own reflection, he would sit by the waters and just admire himself to his doom. He ended up alone because his only focus was on himself. And when I read that, I was just like, wow, if only he had invited people in who were genuine about being in his life, he would have known that the reflection that he saw was himself, because he didn't know. He just saw something so beautiful. He probably never understood why so many women would chase him around, because he couldn't see from looking, until he stopped and he saw his reflection in that water. And it was to his demise, because he kept running away from every woman that tried to love him. He died alone when he could have lived. I don't know who you are, but don't die alone. Don't avoid the great things that God is trying to pour out to you, because you're caught up in a reflection, in an image, in something that will not serve you for an eternal purpose, at least on the positive. Now, this is not for the people who are so stretched where you are just not available to be with everyone that you are in community with. That's something completely different. And trust me, your girl knows what it means to be stretched, so I understand, right? But in this season, if you've been so focused on the man in the mirror, pull back a little bit to actually receive the love that is being poured out to you. Because part of the reason you're so caught up in that image and in that reflection is because you don't actually see yourself. People see you, but you don't. You cannot live your life in a state of confusion, in a state of, like, it's like you're completely oblivious to all of the goodness that is inside of you, and that's not your portion unless you allow it to be. So, that said, you got it, right? Being narcissistic, being caught up on that image is not something that's uncommon to man. But it's also not a mental disorder. It's something that if you are intentional about changing, it can be changed. Don't let life pass you by before you stop and smell the roses. Don't miss your opportunities because you refuse to stop looking so that you can see. Everything you need is inside of you. There is nothing on the surface that you need to get caught up in. This is a season to walk in humility. This season and every season. And once you master it in this season, move on to the next level in the deep of humility in the next season. Because you deserve a fruitful life. And everybody does not have to know about the fruit that you carry. But also the fruit that are on your tree are not just there for you. And if you want any water to keep growing, you got to stay rooted. You got to continue to let those fruit grow on your tree. You're worthy. Bye.